The first sort of exotic culture that I discovered, which sort of took me outside of the realm of jazz bass playing, was when I was in a residency at the Banff Center for the Arts in Canada, and I met an Iranian santur player, and he really changed my perspective and my view on things as we basically for several months worked together. And the process where he taught me his music, which was of course, there was nothing written down, it was all by ear, really changed the way I looked at improvising and understanding music on the bass. Some interesting things which came out of it were, for example, tonalities. When he has two instruments, we had one that was tuned in B flat major or G minor, and another which was tuned in B major or G sharp minor. And what was interesting was I had to learn these melodies by ear, and some of them I learned in B major and G sharp minor, which for a typical jazz bass player was not a really common thing to be doing. And at the time I just did it as a project to understand this music and to interpret it. And the result, which was quite nice, is that it got me out of the cliche of being more comfortable in certain tonalities, which was great, and it wasn't actually planned. So then I started to write music for him, and the first song I wrote for him, I was really excited and enthusiastic, and I showed it to him, and he tried to play it, and he couldn't play it, and it really didn't work at all. And then I realized that I didn't really understand the music he was playing enough to write something in that genre which would fall nicely on his instrument. So then I started to try write music which sort of sounded a bit like what he was doing and fell into the same rules, if you could put it, of his compositional style, or the rules of this type of music, Persian classical music. And once I did this, I started to get some nice melodies that were my own, that also he could easily play on the instrument. And so I wrote this one song which is called Riaz. And another reason I wrote this song is because it's in 7, and this time I was really starting to discover odd meters. And one thing I love to do is to take something, an element in this composition that I have trouble with, and on purpose do this, so I have a platform to work on it. So for those who are into rhythms, it's basically a 7 with 3 and 4 instead of the typical 4-3. I give an example. A normal 4-3 or a cliche 4-3 would be 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. And what I did is I want to invert it, so it'd be different. 1 2 and 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 and 3 1 2 3 4. And in the beginning it was quite hard, and so it gave me a project and a goal. So this song is called Riaz, and I'm going to play it along with a loop from the album I recorded with it. And I'm going to show how I try to improvise within, because I have a lot of students who've not experimented in odd time signatures ask me, how do you practice it and what do you do? And this is one way, is just taking sort of the groupings of notes, almost like in an Indian music way, and mixing them around and seeing and feeling how that sounds against the loop, without panicking that you don't know where you are, or you're feeling things upside down or back and forth. So I would do this actually starting off very, very slowly, so I can feel when I'm on the beat and when I'm off the beat, and when the beat's inverted and backwards, depending on the groupings of the notes. I hope that makes sense, but it probably makes more sense when I play. So this is Riaz. I'll play the melody first, then I'll play the bass line for a bit, and then go into a bit of an improvisation.